coming up on the Life is the Future podcast.
There are some people that they rush and they don't do good quality work, and then they're still complaining that they get bad grades. And I don't, but during the time that we're given to work, they're goofing off, they're talking with their friends, they're playing games, they're on their phones, they're doing something that isn't helping them further themselves in society, and they're always negatively, they're digging their own grave. They want themselves. It seems like they want themselves to fail, and the teachers want the kids to succeed.
Yeah, they definitely try to direct them in the right path.
And they blame the teacher for not learning them or something. Yeah. Or they always blame, even though it's their fault for not doing it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard the phrase you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. That's a huge case for a lot of teachers where they try.
They try to help you a lot.
They really do try. There's so many experiences I've had watching people teachers give good feedback for people to improve, but those people, because they just want to get it over with the project, they just ignore and just talk bad about the teacher because they don't want to do their work, even though they just rushed and didn't do a good job in the first place.
Hey, it's Scott Tottenham, and you're listening to the Life is the Future podcast, a podcast for health education, middle school, and life in general. It's episode 11 of season 7 of our podcast, and this week's hosts, Sree and Samarth, bring in classmates Gabe and Sathvik to talk about motivation in finishing the school year. A timely topic, of course, demotivation, motivation, finishing schoolwork, and extracurriculars strong. I'll be back at the end to wrap some things up. For now, here's Sree and Samarth. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the Life is the Future podcast. My name is Samarth.
I'm Sree, and these are our guests,
Gabriel
and Sathvik.
So today our topic is how to be motivated to stay strong until the end of the year. So for the being motivated until the end of the year, I know as a person, I'm it's really hard for me to stay strong, because it's the end of the year's there, and after that summer, and then summer I get to relax and get up at noon, but now I have to get up at 6. So it's I just want to get it over with. But I think the motivation of I want to get good grades, I want to do well, I think that's really what pushes me. But I don't think that's the same for a lot of people, which is why that's why we're doing this topic, just to get the word out there that this kind of stuff is there.
Yeah, kind of already feels like summer, because okay, so April, there's barely anything left of April, so there's no more April, and then May, you do nothing.
It feels like summer because it's getting more warmer each day. It feels like it's we're getting closer to the end of the year, and we want more more motivation, or we're getting closer to the end of the year, and our system is telling us we gotta push to the end. You don't gotta give up.
Yeah, I think there's two main things. One is emotionally, guys, I just want to give up. I just want to go back to bed, and that's what I'm feeling right now. Now, I want to go back to sleep.
That's most people.
But I think there's another more logical side of me that's telling me I need to lock in so I'm able to finish the school year strong, because otherwise it's gonna hurt me both mentally and collegially. I think that's a word, collegially. Yeah. So I think that that's what you mean. The emotional aspect is what I think we need to allow the logical part to take over. Otherwise, the emotional part will engulf us, and then we're not able to see the logical reasoning anymore, thus decreasing our chances and our possibilities and the general possibility of us finishing strong and being able to complete the school year without any negative things.
Yeah, and most people struggle.
Okay,
yeah, most people struggle because of tests. They get worried that they're not going to pass their tests, and
the finals.
I can really agree.
Their finals, and they're studying a lot, and they feel like they're going to get a bad grade. And then whatever they do, they might actually get a good grade out of all this hard work and not giving up.
One thing I try to believe is that if you think you're going to do bad, then you will do bad. So if you're oh, I'm going to fail this, then you probably are.
It's just your brain that what you thinks you're going to do.
You just got to stay feeling
focused.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this good, and then I'll finally be able to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, as like instead of it's not as much for me as like trying to keep up the motivation through the year, but it's that like now that summer is like coming up, and like there's barely any school left because of summer. Like that's your time to just like laze around and basically do nothing because you have close to zero responsibilities. Like I'm kind of already in that mindset already where like there's like barely anything. There's barely any school. I don't really have to focus as much. Like I just want to like skip to summer so I can just like do nothing, and that's starting to have an impact on my schoolwork. So like the main thing for me is just to like keep like reminding myself that even though I'm close to summer, I still have to do my work, and in this like less than 2 months before it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make to that. You're gonna get more confident that you're gonna do better at work because you're already experienced at school. Because like the summer's getting close, it's getting warmer, everyone's having the most fun in school, and you're getting too confident, and that's mostly what happens to people's grades drop down. It's like most of the time you just gotta like stay strong till the end. You just gotta like lock in. No matter the season, no matter if it's the end or the close or the start, you just gotta be prepared for what's gonna come and like what's gonna happen for now.
Yeah, I can like relate to that because like the first 2 quarters I had like perfect grades, but now I'm starting to like falter a little.
You're getting confident more.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah, that like, oh, it's fine, it's already almost over, it doesn't really matter to do as good, but you gotta stay focused and always do your best.
I have like a similar thing, but I think for me, it's more of, because like my grades have never been the best. There's like a societal standard set that the better your grades, the better like person you are, and I don't think that's true, because I know some really good people who don't have the best grades, and I know some people who aren't the best, but they have amazing grades. So I don't think that reflects that. And also, like in itself, I know a couple of people who have planned to go to college, and they're freshmen in college right now. And for them, when I was talking to them, they said more often than not, 8th grade doesn't really matter grade wise, and I think that's what really like changed me, because before 8th grade, that's when I was talking to them, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter because they're only going to pay attention to your high school GPA. And for me, that's like, okay, this doesn't really matter. I should focus on other things that I like, because it's my last year. I can probably do stuff. So I think that general concept of like, it's not going to affect, I think that's been like portrayed across a lot of various sources, which is why I think that is the reason why a lot of people don't try as hard.
Yeah, 8th grade grades not really mattering. I know my sister's like going to go to college soon. She's a junior and she's already like preparing, and like she tells me all the time, like even though colleges won't look at those grades all the way back then, it's still really important for you to try really hard in 8th grade so you can like build up like all of that like responsibility and working hard. So for your high school classes, you are already prepared and you're not suffering as much, because like obviously the workload is going to get much higher. Even if it's kind of higher right now, it's going to get much higher there. So you have to work on like keeping up with what you have right now, because if you don't, then it's not going to get any better in high school.
Yeah.
You just gotta stay confident till the end. You just gotta push yourself and like be more stronger till like the end. If you just like say, no, I won't do this, that's not really gonna help you in like the future. You're not gonna like take responsibility. You're not gonna do anything for yourself. You just gotta you just gotta lock in. That's mostly just what you gotta do.
I know, I've seen a lot of kids, it's like they do a lot of extracurriculars. Like, I'm in the musical right now, and that takes up a lot of my time, because this week I'm at school from some days like 6:50 in the morning all the way to like 6 p.m. and the next week it's until 6:30. So it really takes up a lot of my time, and then on top of that, I have a bunch of projects that are due this week and next week. So that it like drains me, and it's like I can't really like focus, and I think the concept of that, like I'm incapable of moving on, like I'm like, oh, I just want to like go to bed. And I know like I brought that up earlier, but like I think that's the main issue with people right now. Is like there's so much work, and then on top of that, they're like seeing so many places. Like there are people that are just out having fun, and then there's like I want to do that too. So like that lack of motivation from that, I think, is also a big problem.
Most people just take advantage of it. Like, people think 8th grade is, like, one of the easiest classes because, like, they know they're going to go to high school still. Because, a good example, 8th grade grades will not really matter for now, but you just still got to work for them right now.
Yeah.
But if you get to high school, they're going to put you in lower classes that you're not going to need. They're, like, lower classes that you don't need for yourself. You need higher classes so you can improve yourself, so you can, like, do better for the future. Most people just, like, take advantage of this and, like, just don't really do well in like middle school. They really just fail. But I would recommend most people to like just stay focused, do your best, and maybe you'll pass with good grades and you'll get to a higher level,
Then
like
you
high
can
school.
actually learn instead of just redoing what you've already done before.
Yeah, you just like don't learn anything and just like that's why you don't. That's why in life most people don't really like succeed. That's like you're just being lazy. You gotta like stay strong till the very end.
It's like what the I Ready video says that plays at the beginning of the test.
Yeah.
They're like, don't rush, don't purposely do bad, or else you're gonna have to redo it and just do things that are not right for
Like
you.
most students say, you will get lower classes than you anticipate.
Yeah.
You won't learn anything new from there. You'll need like higher classes to like proceed.
Yeah, you guys make good points. About like not pushing and not like rushing through school. Do you guys have any experiences where you guys rushed and like you know how it negatively impacted you?
I'm trying to remember, but
I probably like rushed like maybe myself on a couple tests. I regretted that moment because I got like not really good grades. I'm like maybe one time I got a good grade for it, but like most of the time you will fail. You won't like you won't do good. You just gotta take your time and just stay calm. You just gotta push yourself ahead just to do it like normally. You just gotta read whatever's on the paragraph, read the book. You just gotta learn.
Yeah. I think I know like in ELA, when we were working, there are some people that they rush and they don't do good quality work, and then they're still complaining that they get bad grades. And I don't but during the time that we were given to work, they're goofing off, they're talking with their friends, they're playing games, they're on their phones, they're doing something that isn't helping them further themselves in society, and they're always like negatively, like they're like it's
digging
like they're digging
Yeah.
their own grave. They want themselves. It's like it seems like they want themselves to fail, and the teachers want the kids to succeed.
Yeah, they
for
definitely
obvious
try to
reasons.
like direct them in the right
And they
path.
blame the teacher for not like learning them or something.
Yeah.
Or they always like blame, even though it's their fault for not doing it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard the phrase like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink
Yeah.
it. Like that's a huge case for like a lot of teachers where they try
They try to help
direct.
you a lot.
They really do try. There's so many experiences I've had like watching people like teachers give good feedback for people to improve, but like those people, because they just want to get it over with the project, they just like ignore and just like talk bad about the teacher because they don't want to do their work, even though they just rushed and didn't do a good job in the first place.
Yeah.
But I would say I have some friends who like they actually listen to the teacher's advice and they actually pass with really good grades afterwards. They actually worked themselves hard and they actually improved a lot from what they did mistakenly. I had like a couple friends who like rushed to tests. Afterwards, the teacher recommended them to like stay and study sometimes and like take their time. Afterwards, they were actually getting good grades, like A's, B's. They weren't failing like before. They were getting really bad grades, and their parents did not like it at all. And then afterwards, they improved. They improved it, and they got actually a good like.
High grade.
They got a high grade in like high school and everything.
Yeah, a huge thing is that like feedback and hate are two different things, and a lot of people
Correct.
just confuse like feedback for hate. Like instead of hearing like this is what you can do to make this better. They just hear like you did this terribly.
Yeah.
So
They take it for
They
like
hear
a mad
criticism
response.
instead of
Yeah.
constructive
They think the teachers like
criticism.
want to like give them like a bad response back, but instead they're trying to like help the students like improve, like motivate them to help like to pass all their
yeah, because
things.
teachers want their students to succeed.
Exactly.
I think the moment you get feedback back, it's really just a red pill, blue pill choice. One, you take it, you realize what you've done wrong, and you really like work towards it. And then there are examples of that, of people actually doing that and succeeding well. But then there are also people who chose the wrong pill, and they're and it's like
They
kind
don't
of
do
obvious.
well, they, like,
Yeah, and then
fail.
they do really bad, and then but instead of like realizing that it's their fault, they
Blame
are
it.
living in like in a sort of matrix, like a fake world that it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's the teacher's fault. They didn't teach me right. They're not
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
not being
trying hard
self-aware.
enough.
Yeah.
They're not trying hard enough. So it's the concept of I'm incapable of doing wrong. The teacher's the one that's wrong. Because of the teacher doing wrong, I'm getting bad grades. So now it's the teacher's fault for not trying hard enough when the teacher clearly did. And I think that's what at the end of the day, that's the real problem of society now. Like, I'm the best person here, so it's all your fault.
This is
Yeah,
what people
yeah,
take
yeah.
mostly. They always compare themselves to like the smart kids or something. They always like say, "Wow, you do very well, and I do very bad because the teacher doesn't learn me anything." Like I always wondered like why, and I always see them at lessons that they like stay on their phone. They don't do any work. They just stay, like sleep or something. I say, why don't you do the work yourself? Why don't you like wake up and actually try your best to do it? That's why you're failing. Probably that's why the other kids are doing better than you.
And then
They're
like-
actually listening.
And then they're like, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. It's just the teacher's fault."
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
that's what's making like students furious in the first place. They think they are better than students that do actually something unless
Yeah.
they don't do anything themselves.
Yeah, naturally people want to get better, but many people don't want to practice.
But they're
for it.
very lazy.
Yeah, they don't want to
do it.
practice. Like I'm kind of guilty of this. Like as an artist, I don't like practicing drawing because I'm not good at it. But I know I have to practice in order to get better, and that's like a huge case with academics where people want to like get high scores. They want to be top of their class,
But they gotta practice
whatever.
more.
Yeah, but they don't want to
They gotta
practice
study.
for it. They just want to like wake up in a world where they're like on top
They're
of
smart.
everyone.
Yeah.
They're like the
just want-
best.
Yeah. Yeah,
That-
they're like living in those delusions that like make them not want to like work cuz like I'm the best. I don't have to work. And they like suffer from it. Like even if you're high performing now, like you have to keep working for it to like keep up that high performance.
Exactly. That's the thing
Yeah.
in sports also. That's like
Yeah.
in sports, everything almost. Like for businesses, school, everything.
Yeah, like
Like, if
big
you don't
ticket
like, for
basketball players,
basketball,
they still have to play. They
Like,
still have
you
to
have
practice
to
for
get
it.
better. If you don't practice at all, you're gonna get worse. You're just gonna lose all your skills. That's the same thing. That's the same
Yeah.
thing with school also. If you don't practice, if you don't study, you're gonna fail. Or
Yeah,
you
that-
might fail. But if you pay attention in class most of the time and don't actually like use your phone, you could get a good grade without actually studying also. But you just gotta pay attention most of the time in class and actually like, stay focused.
Yeah, my sister, another thing she told me is that, like, with colleges, throughout your high school career, they don't want to see. What they want to see mostly is either you starting off well and keeping that up, or like starting like kind of in the middle and building up like better grades, going into like harder classes and keeping those good grades. Like if
Yeah.
you start off with like tons of hard classes, but like immediately the workload is terrible,
gotta do all those
and you
hard
just
classes.
stop, like
Yeah.
colleges don't want to see that downward pattern.
Yeah,
They want
yeah.
to see like proof that you're able to handle
Like you're
more
capable.
stress, like
Yeah.
high stress situations, that you're able to handle that workload.
Yeah, grades aren't everything in college. I think it's more like how capable
Yeah, how-
you are, like,
yeah.
at Zolder and
Like how
stuff.
Yeah.
it's not really how small. You just gotta pay attention most of the time.
Yeah, that's why
they
they ask for like other things other than just your grades. Like there's like the essay where they study like how you can write. There's
Like they
so
want
much
to check
more.
how good you are. They want to like check how
Yeah.
like well you do in these situations. Like if you can, like if you want to get a job, you have to write a full like an essay to like enter.
Like,
they want to test you, so if you can get a job or something in the future.
Yeah, colleges, like, they don't always ask for, like, numbers on a screen. Like, sure, they ask for, like, SAT or ACT scores, but what they want to see is, like, how you can perform under a limited time.
Or there's like sometimes for interviews they ask you like a strange question like, imagine you're shrunk down and then you're put inside a blender. What are
The
you
size
gonna
of a
do?
quarter. Yeah. They don't want to, like, hear the most boring, bland answer,
Oh,
like,
I'm just
I'd be
gonna
under the
crouch
blade.
down.
Yeah, they want to see how you can think under, like, high pressure and how you can be creative.
Like what if
and
you're in
come
like
up with
a bad
creative
situation?
solution.
Like what will happen? You give up or just you try harder to get out of there?
So I think the next period's about to start. So before we wrap this up,
One final question.
any final thoughts that you guys have about like how the people watching or whoever like listens to the podcast,
How they can, like, keep up
how
their
they
motivation.
can keep up their motivation to finish
Especially in this
off.
fourth quarter, yeah.
I feel
And-
like you should just not like let yourself like for like the couple last months of like the school year, just think about like what you can do to like make yourself better and just don't like give up on this. You're not gonna like you think you're gonna be confident to like finish off the school year, but you just gotta lock in for the rest of the year.
Don't get too
Just
confident.
don't get too cocky and don't get too confident that you're gonna pass everything. Because most students, I have a couple friends who passed, who got to the end of the school year and they had a final and then they failed it, and then they dropped down their grades. That you just gotta stay confident till the end, mostly.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for some great
Thanks
thoughts.
for bringing me on the podcast.
So I think that concludes today's episode. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, there it is. Thanks to Gabe and Sathvik for joining Sree and Samarth this week to talk about finishing the school year strong and motivation at the end of middle school. We've had another strong season of our podcast episodes, and I think you'll agree that it's nice to hear these candid conversations from the teens. We've all struggled a bit with demotivation or what it all means in terms of classwork and what colleges are even looking for in the future if students choose and are able to go. All of these things matter in a young teenager's life. I think all the topics they brought up are very important to note. In fact, they might even affect adults' lives as well. How do you respond? How do you, quote, lock in and get your schoolwork done appropriately? How do you keep interest in things when you can see in the future that there's a change about to occur? Sometimes the questions are just as important as the answers, but nonetheless, we're going to finish up with a few last episodes in April and May as we wrap up Season 7 of the Life is the Future podcast. If you've been with us since the beginning, we're going to invite some previous hosts back, if at all possible, so that the 8th graders can interview our high school seniors who were sitting here in their shoes just a few short years ago. Look for those wrap-up episodes real soon, and if you think someone will appreciate what we do, please share away. That always helps us reach our intended audience. As always, thanks for tuning in.